Draft your LCS team and earn money. Alpha Draft.
Games like started very shortly here for our first matchup in our best of two. Game one between Invictus Gaming and Energy Pacemaker is coming right up. I'm Julian Pacetime Carr, joined by Christopher Papa Smithy Smith. We are into it right now. First game of the day here, Fizz, the first ban there from EP.
Absolutely. I mean, Rookie's Fizz was something to be feared in week one, so it's a smart ban away here. And Lissandra, one of the strongest meta champs, banned out from IG.
Yep, so Energy Pacemaker going to start off on the blue side here for our first game. IG going to start off on the red side. And kind of a funky little trend that we noticed. It wasn't a too big a stat, but a lot of the teams that started on the red side just went really well because they picked something. They got two strong picks in their draft, went back over to the blue side like they just were scared of something they saw in the other game. That gets banned away. They get to first pick it. So interesting with all the 2-0s, how that kind of works because you only get to play each side once, but we do have Kassadin banned now as the second one from EP.
And Kassadin's kind of been a talking point among analysts right now. It's so strong in China. It's always been a popular Chinese pick. Like, even before the last resurgence of Kassadin, China was kind of pioneering the strength of that champion there. Even with all the nerfs, even with the fact that you can't rift walk around the map with the same proficiency you once could, still seeing the blind pick Kassadins. You know, it's a flex pick between top and mid, much like Lissandra, and that's making it shoot up there in terms of priority.
Yeah, Rek'Sai banned there as well from IG. Don't want to give that one away. And Sivir going to get banned here as well. And we talked at length about Sivir last weekend.
I mean, Sivir's the queen of team fighting. She gives her team so much utility and still performs her role as an AD carry. So given the importance of dragons and, of course, the prowess of team fighting in China, it's a smart ban.
And as well, one of the other big hits from last weekend, Nah, is going to get the final ban here from IG. So Energy Pacemaker got a few things to consider here. I guess Janna open here is the most obvious thing.
And Janna works very well against, say, Jarvan, one of the other really popular picks right there. So it makes sense to prioritize the Janna, and that's what they've gone with. And you see Pokemon, he's hovering over Jarvan, of course, a flex pick between top lane and jungle.
Yeah, we've got a lot of options here. We've seen quite a lot of Rumble. Aurelia's seen some play. It's kind of funny when a lot of the bans feel set, that the draft just almost feels like, okay, well, the top tier champions, chop them off. We're not getting them at all in this series. But what's next thing? You know, which champions do these people favor once some of the top tier champions have fallen through?
And it's one of those things where after a week or two of play, you can start looking at the statistics, because of course we've seen Nah get through, we've seen Jarvan get through. All these champions, there's so many high priority champions that people are able to go back and say, so what are they actually winning with? What is the key factor? Is it the Janna? Is it the Jarvan? Is it the Rumble? All of them have been strong picks in some games, not so much in other games. And when the trends start, that's when the analysts really start getting their work done.
Yep, so the next two picks there as well. IG first pick, Jarvan and Azir. And Jarvan, as you mentioned, very strong jungler. Basically in the top three of jungles as far as things are concerned. And quick picks already, Corki and Lee Sin there for EP.
And the Azir pickup comes here, I guess you look down the ban champions here. Kassadin and Fizz have always been very strong champions against that Azir. Basically, Azir struggles with anyone who can get on top of him early, you know, with a strong gap closer, like a Zed, like a Fizz. Assassins are his real bane of his existence. And I guess with this pick, they're kind of saying, you know, Zed's available, you can pick Zed, but that kind of pigeonholes you into that AD mid. Maybe they're trying to force a pick, or maybe they're just super confident in Rookie's Azir.
Yep, so next picks as well have come through for Invictus Gaming. Nami and Tristana, very late game focus lane there for them.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the kind of the flavor we're seeing. We've seen a lot of Tristana. Snake, for example, who we'll see play later, have been just blind picking that Tristana and just delaying their games accordingly. If you have Tristana, she of course has that mid-game power trough. So seeing her locked in here suggests to me at least that Kakao's going to put as much pressure on lanes as possible and hope that we can see Tristana really level up and farm.
Yeah, and had to lean in there a little just to check that pick. That's Xerath as the fourth pick there from EP, and Sion is actually the final pick there from Energy Pacemaker.
I mean, Sion's a real handful in the top lane. He's an interesting champion. You get a lot of damage out of it, and of course an initiator. I mean, his initiation, particularly his lane ganking, is insane with his ultimate there. So we haven't actually seen it in the LPL so far, so we're going to see what sort of flavor of Sion we see coming out.
Yeah, and I feel like we've definitely seen top lane players in China that, you know, just want a big engaged tank, you know, someone to sponge a lot of damage, get in the way of the carries, kind of run interference, and engage. Maokai here as well, actually the last pick from IG, a similar sort of champion. So big tank battle in the top lane, an amazing Jay, we've talked about it. Big playmaker, built like full damage Jarvan in a couple of the games. This is a very different champion for him.
Absolutely. He's going to go up the top lane and he's going to split push all day. But it's going to be a very surprising thing to see any damage items built there. It's going to be full tank, but we look on this IG side, both the Jarvan and Maokai, so much teamfight control with an Azir behind them. So you feel like if Azir gets through the laning phase, his damage potential in his fights from long range is going to be insane.
And the thing I like about that as well, that seems to set up the Tristana Nami really well. Got a lot of tools to keep her safe, got a lot of zones to control, lots of damage coming in. The perfect setup for any hyper carry is just the ability to sit still and last hit, free hit until to your heart's content.
Absolutely. Once you get those 3 damage items on Tristana, you're just kind of looking for the rest of the team to soften up the enemies, and then the reset's coming in. So we're going to have to see if that's going to be possible here. At the EP side, it's got those curveballs, the Scion especially. But I mean, Scion, the one thing he does have trouble dealing with is that terrain that Jarvan's going to be putting out. Obviously, his ultimate will be stopped by the walls of that. So it's going to be an interesting interaction there. The timings on those abilities could be key. I still like IG's lineup just because they have so much lockdown between Jarvan and Maokai. But there's always potential to come out.
And I kind of like, it's kind of interesting to me, that a lot of people seem to do this in the mid lane against Azir specifically, because Energy Pacemaker have Xerath on their side of the map, and that's not maybe the assassin that you could look to potentially punish that champion.
No, Xerath's that very, very long-range champion there. We've actually seen this matchup come out previous in the LPL. It's a bit of a farm lane, but when you have Cacao in the jungle, I'm always worried to call things a farm lane.
Yeah, Cacao likes to make mess early, it seems like. Get his team ahead. We've seen fantastic objective control from IG as well. Not just from, keeping Dragon, which a lot of the top teams have been doing so far, but also just rotating around, getting turrets, making sure they're taking things and always controlling the map. Cacao has done a stellar job of keeping his team in control of the vision.
It's actually been impressive how much objective control Cacao's been able to put out, just because he's happy to throw out that chilling smite to pick up a kill, and then we saw him just go straight on to Baron. They risked a Baron with smite not being available. Obviously, in future patches, there will be that 2-charge system that might change that interaction, but Cacao's going for that damage, he's going for those picks, and they're just trying to DPS down those objectives afterwards.
Yeah, and I just realized as well, with the tie not here and them starting rookie Pokemon every single time, I just called it Cacao's team, and that's actually sort of what it feels like. He's the one leading the team, leading the charge. Obviously, maybe a bit of language issues there as well, but Cacao has really been leading this squad, and Rookie's backing him right up.
It tells you what the organization says about a player when you bring someone in new with a language barrier and then have him shot call. It's a lot of faith in Cacao, but if anyone deserves it, it might be him.
All right, guys, going to pull up to a quick break, but when we be back, we're going to start off our first game here. It's IG versus EP. All right, into the Rift now for Game 1 here in this best of 2. Energy Pacemaker will start things off on the blue side for Game 1. IG on the red side here.
Interesting, the double regen starts from the top laners here. Of course, the top lane matchup, as we see plenty of regen coming out from Maokai and Scion.
We've seen a lot of fairly defensive level ones as well, I feel like, Papa. Some deep wards being placed on key jungle camps, but nothing super aggressive early on.
I mean, there's always the potential of that lane swap coming out of Tristana. It's looking unlikely as we see both teams rotating towards the bottom of the map, but anything's possible.
Yep, more down there placed by Rookie as well. Just wants to spot out anyone moving through that mid lane. Here is Drizzle, the sub-jungler, coming in now for EP in this first game. Does spot off Cacao there as well. Pokemon will also put his wards down. It seems like a pretty standard 4-point defense going to be coming through here.
And whenever you see a double substitution, you always wonder what flavor we're going to see from a team. There's always that potential that those two players can really change the way a team plays. And look, EP needed a change, 0-4 so far. They want to get their first victory here against IG, who've been traditionally a yo-yo team. They've traditionally won one game in a series and lost the other. So we'll see if any of these adjustments can change the result, the expected 2-0 IG that we're all thinking of.
Yeah, it almost feels like just the Cacao Rookie duo has added some consistency potentially as well to this squad, because IG have been performing. Kid actually didn't even touch on him in the draft. He has also been playing fantastically, just quietly getting ahead of his lanes and getting fantastic scores.
It's kind of been the story of Kid's career. He's always been in the shadow of those really strong AD carries like Wei Zhao, but that's definitely not a slight against him. He's a wonderful player in his own right, as we see maybe some of the first freezing happening in the top lane. And this mid lane matchup, probably going to see a lot of farming. Yep,
so we actually do have junglers starting on the same side of the map. They'll start on the left-hand side and move down towards the right. But we do have lane swaps here actually coming up, Papa.
Interesting to see EP opt into a lane swap from the blue side. They're running that Corki Janna lane. I mean, although Janna lanes are traditionally thought of as quite weak in lane, Corki is one of the strongest laning champions in the game. So opting out of a 1v1 is an interesting strategic adaptation from EP.
Yep, so we'll see a Raphael and Rookie. Just going to farm it up here again. Lots of pushing and lots of farming. Zia just going to try and zone out Xerath, but very long range here on this champion. Not going to run into too much trouble.
And we see Nami here is actually going towards the top lane, which makes sense. Maokai, even though he's a melee champion, does have a lot of ranged wave clear. Of course, the saplings from the long range, and then Q for the trying to clear the waves as they come in towards the turret. And Nami just going to, heal him up, top him off, and stop any turret dives.
Janna's actually moved off as well, so she'll be potentially roaming. As we do see Drizzle and Amazing J finishing up the red buff together. Double jungling happening on both sides, at least initially. Pokemon now, as you mentioned, Papa, going to move into that top lane, and a bit of action early on here. Drizzle and Amazing J going to start the Dragon at 3 minutes.
And level 1 is Amazing J. He hasn't taken much experience, but he's just trying to tank with his W shield as much as possible. This is an interesting gambit here. We see Cacao is quite close on the map, but will he come in and spot this?
I almost wonder if they're trying to use Sion's passive to cheese the Dragon out.
That's what they're doing.
Amazing J getting low here. There's a good save cuts coming through. They know he's dead, but he's now in his passive form. An energy pacemaker. Beautiful cheese.
There's curveballs and there's suiciding to Dragon as level 1 Sion. Hilarious play coming out of EP, but they get themselves a dragon. It's not that gold lead that you would have gotten in seasons past when we saw those 2-minute 30 dragons coming up. But it still is a lot of laning power, that 6% AP and AD.
And you know what? We've talked about it in the pregame. IG's Dragon Control has been stellar throughout the last weekend. Energy Pacemaker, like, you know what? Didn't really like that.
But so much credit to EP for really throwing down something different. We haven't seen this in the reworked jungle yet. And it's just awesome to see.
And Amazing J is now teleported down to the bottom lane as well, so he's going to be coming through. We did actually have Drizzle poking down, trying to maybe get a gank or a dive onto Kid's Tris, but he's farming out nice and safely there and picking up plenty of farm for himself.
And I was going to comment on the hilarious synergy between that Janna and Sion, just because Sion's all about instantly clearing waves with that Q. It has high base values, has good AD scaling, but you can't really afford to go carry Sion. We've seen a few carry AD Sions, and it just doesn't work out. You know, he works best with those tanky resources. So, of course, Janna gives him very early wave clear with the extra AD, but it looks like Sion's going to have to fend for himself.
Yep, he's going to throw some minions around, try and get some last hits where he can in this 1v2 situation. We saw Raphael going back as well, getting forced out a little there early on by rookies Azir, who's just been zoning out. I think that feels to me how the matchup might play out. Auto attack's very strong in that mid lane.
So Cacao is coming into mid to remove some wards here. One thing you can notice on the minimap is how different a team like OMG, for example, set up their 1v2 lane compared to EP. We saw so much safe vision for Going whenever he would enter bottom lane in a 1v2 situation, so that he could push his limits as much as possible. As Amazing J here, he's got a pink ward down, but there's a lot of darkness coming from that friendly jungle.
Yep, gonna knock up Kid there with that Q. Just trying to again farm up here as Kid and Kitties start pushing now in towards that bottom lane, maybe getting some pressure there as well. CS very good between the two AD carries, are slightly there for Kane's Corki, so they're both doing well in their, I guess, respective 1v1 or 2v1 lanes.
And judging by the skill ups here, we do see 2 points in explosive shot coming out from Kid. He's happy to push the lanes in here. There's not going to be a full-on deny in either lane, as we see the CS values a bit higher for Maokai, as Sion, of course, died going for that early dragon. But there's no denies, the hard denies coming in for these 1v2 lanes. So the team fights, we might see the unkillable Sion or the super tanky Maokai.
Yep, so going to break it into 2 different 2v1 lanes now after that very creative jungle pressure from Energy Pacemaker starts off. Other than that, Cacao maybe going to fish for a gank in towards down the bottom. Amazing Day just using that ability, pushing the minions out and actually getting some CS now as it pushes into the turret.
We start to see some IG rotations. Are thankfully spotted by a pink if you're an EP fan, but they're feeling that without, you know, with the weakness, of course, of Sion here, with only the 15 CS, after already dying once, they might prey on him, but they back away.
Yeah, seems like an attractive dive target. No real first blood given here, of course. Sion suiciding into that dragon to take it at 3 minutes. And that's actually the other thing to talk about, I guess, Papa. We have a first dragon fight coming up in a couple minutes.
I believe IG will have a rough timer there, though, just because, of course, they got the notification of the execute coming out on Sion. It wasn't a troll, that did happen, but it brought them a lot of laning power, and it'll be interesting to see whether it's worth it. Is it worth missing out on, at this point, 20 CS between their 1v2 lane matchups and some experience is enough to justify 6% AD and AP. It'll make your laning easier, your last hits will be slightly better, but of course, that becomes most powerful in the late game when you know, you have that AD, you purchase those items which really multiply with that 6% AD and AP.
Yeah, Drizzle just walks by Pokemon, by the way, so Marco will kind of fend off a gank there. I mean, I guess Drizzle just saying hello there on Lee Sin. Pokemon level 6 now as well, so getting towards his items. Sheen picked up for Corki now as well, so his Trinity Force has been started. Amazing Day also going to back off here. And we'll see what he wants to get in his first fight. A little low on gold, as you mentioned, just from those early movements.
Absolutely. And we'll see the lane swap is coming in here, so they aren't going to opt into the 1v1 lane matchup after opting into a lane swap here. Bit of magic resist picked up on Sion, so he might be in a better position to deal with that Maokai lane. I'm not that familiar with the matchup, but we'll start to see it develop now.
Yep, Amazing G again using that teleport to a tower, just getting to his lanes conveniently. Doesn't want to waste any time walking between them. So actually going to pick up a decent amount of CS and experience despite starting behind. I guess the other thing with Dragon coming back up in 125, I think the brilliant little thing is that EP almost feel like they've got an advantage in that early game Dragon fight.
It's intriguing just because they've used their teleport from Amazing J to get to top lane, so he won't be able to teleport into Dragon. So is it just that they thought, you know, maybe there would be a stranglehold on Dragon coming out from IG and they wanted to steal the first one to get that important boost in stats? Was it just that they didn't like the lane matchups? I'm not really sure what it was that caused the swap, but I did love that early Dragon.
We'll see if they can get the control here. Kakao actually with a pink ward that he's sitting on top of. Looking to gank Raphael, but does not go in for it. Rookie does not have blue buff. Looks like that will get handed over now as well. And Xerath has picked up his, so been farming out nicely. Mid lane CS looking decent. Rookie again pushing that early league with about 20 ahead in that particular lane. And again, things are definitely going to heat up now because the Dragon is coming back up quite soon.
See, to me, this all benefits IG just because Pokemon's the biggest beneficiary here. He's able to get that early catalyst. You know, he can opt into a Righteous Glory or maybe even the Rod of Ages, depending on what his team needs. It feels like IG's going to have a tanky frontline soon, and that's when I worry for this Energy Pacemaker side, just because if Azir is able to, Azir and Tristana especially are able to free hit, get those items up, get to 3-4 damage items, how are you ever going to get past the front line to get damage on those long-range threats?
Yeah, Kid as well has picked up his first mage item. Rookie going in, ults him back. That's beautiful play now. Raphael in trouble. Gets knocked out by Kakao, and he's taking so much damage. Azir going through Cataclysm for the kill.
You know, we use that word synergy so often in the pregame. You see it right there. So on point. Very aggressive flash coming out from Rookie to set that one up. Kakao happily accepts the kill, and the snowball begins.
Yeah, Dragon alive there. IG will not move in towards it, so EP may save themselves that objective for now as Raphael will respawn fairly soon. Back in the top lane, Amazing J catching up and in the bottom. Kid taking damage. Kane going to go in. Kid force the rocket jump away. Kiddies gets exhausted there as well, and everyone's going to back away from that bottom lane 2v2.
Obviously, the heal summon is used on both AD carries there. Kane is preciously low, but there is pressure coming from Drizzle.
Yeah, Drizzle level 6 now as well on Lee Sin. Potentially going to look to get involved with the ultimate. Has his summoner spells up as well. And can also smite champions if needed, of course. We've seen the Skirmisher Saber been very popular as a jungle item choice.
I think Kid realizes here he doesn't have vision of that Tribush. He doesn't need to opt in being aggressive right there. Plays it safe, and of course, that means that Lee Sin's time is wasted.
Yeah, no overcommitment there by Drizzle either. Dragon is back, but EP have not moved in for it yet here. I think ping's coming up. Maybe IG suspected it could be coming up, but Raphael returning to that mid lane here, building up towards his first purchase. Looks like Morello will be here, and Rookie already finished his.
I find it interesting that they opted into that super early Dragon, which of course gives them the exact timer, but EP haven't looked to capitalize on a second Dragon here, even choosing to use that teleport to top lane. Sion had already walked towards his first turret before he decided to teleport. So interesting to, you know, to be a fly on the wall of the comms that are coming out from EP right here, but it has made their laning safer, and that might mean why they've kind of gotten through lane fairly unscathed, barring that one kill in the mid lane.
Yep, Kane doing a nice job here as well. Up a couple CS here against Kid, about 10 in that matchup there, and of course that will get better once his Trinity Force gets completed, and that's maybe what EP are waiting for in terms of the Dragon fight as well.
We're going to see some aggressive skirmishing coming out here as we see they have the pink ward advantage on the right side of mid lane here towards the Dragon. It feels like once Kakao gets the vision down he wants, and look, there's so much vision around the red side of EP's jungle, it feels like at any point they could take this Dragon. Maybe they don't appreciate that, but this is IG's Dragon to take.
Yep, Kakao again really wanting to set up with Rookie. You can tell that he loves kind of picking on this lane. We've seen that a lot actually with some of the other players that have come through where they sort of develop synergy. Obviously Rookie, Kakao have that already, but even over on the EDG side, Clearly seems to love Deft.
I feel like every team kind of has those lanes they want to focus on, whether it's an aggressive man like Kakao who's saying, let's take out Raphael in the mid lane, this sub-mid laner here. Although we see Drizzle dangerously close to Kakao, we might see a fight in mid.
Gonna spot him, does start up the damage limits. Man advantage here for EP. Kakao will move forward. The Shoes Johnner will clear out that pink or attempt to, just harassing back and forth. Raphael gonna step in as well. Gotta be careful, big zone of influence here from Energy Pacemaker's mid laner. And looks like we're gonna fight over the wards, but EP do get some vision down. Now everyone's going to group down as well.
Worth knowing that Flash is down on both mid laners here, so these fairly immobile, long-range mid laners are at risk if they're able to get on top of either by Lee Sin or Jarvan. So that's why we see so much importance being placed on the wards here, because positioning will be everything when it's a Xerath versus a Zia battle.
Yeah, we can see Amazing Jam Pokemon just going to battle in that top lane. Still quite behind on CS actually. Pokemon with that early lead, still keeping that on Malko versus Sion.
Important to note that he does have his teleport up here, so this will be a true 5v5 if we see Dragon being contested soon.
Looks like Energy Pacemaker do pick up the Scuttle Crab. Going to pop on down to the bottom lane now as well. Drizzle fishing for kitties. Does not want to go in though. Nice pink ward there from IG to sort of mark up that defensive positioning. And great double sweep there as well. Picking up 2 wards there for IG. So a lot of vision being contested around this Dragon.
Yeah, looking at the scoreboard here, it is about 1,200 gold, the advantage to IG. Some of that's expected just because, of course, less time spent in lanes from EP. I guess the question is 6% AD and AP more important than 1,200 gold at 13 minutes into the game? I'm going to lean towards no, just because those flat stats are so important when we're starting this. That's why you see Doran's Ring being such a popular item in the mid lanes, because it has so many mixed flat stats. But as the game develops, maybe we're able to comment on that narrative and see how it develops for EP.
Yeah, Azir looking good as well. Rookie still 20 CS ahead of this Xerath. So the safe farm lane here, I guess going in favor of IG. Rookie does have an assist there as well from the first blood that was in this particular game, but he picks up blue buff now for himself. He's going to wander on over to this mid lane. And again, a very, from what was a beautiful level 1 here to start things off for EP, very passive in the first 14 minutes after that.
And it's afforded people like Pokemon the option of going for that Rod of Ages over perhaps a Righteous Glory for a more immediate power spike, just because nothing's happened in the first 14 minutes, and he certainly hasn't been picked on in lane. He's fairly free farmed at 115 CS in what started off as a 1v2 matchup there. So we can go for Rod of Ages and assume it's probably going to be another 10 minutes before he's really going to have a large power spike.
Yeah, and maybe looking at the bottom lane here as well with the Tristana pick, does this sort of start where Tristana's able to farm Philly, does that favor IG's duo here?
It's the same story, right? Tristana and Maokai late game are going to be monstrous, and nothing that EP's done is going to shut them down.
Amazing J, he just taking a good chunk of harass actually from Pokemon. Throw a sapling at him as well. Amazing J will run away, actually going back home as well. Does get his recall cancelled, but will pop back now. And again with the teleport, could be using it aggressively to return to his lane. But EP, for all the aggression that it seems like they compass, they are not pressing the go button again after that level 1
If
dragon.
anything is going to be a very obvious go button to the viewers and hopefully to EP themselves, it's that Trinity Force pickup coming out of Corki. He's completed that item. It's all about the mid game. Amusingly, we can hear the Scion ultimate being used to get back to lane. So the one thing that does tell you is they want to have that teleport open for the second dragon fight. The first dragon fight, the second dragon being contested. The Trinity Force power spike's usually the go button, specifically when he picks up Sorcerer's Shoes, which you think he's about 1,100 gold away from. I hope that they capitalize on these power spikes, because the power trough compared to Maokai and Tristana in the late game is going to be considerable.
Yeah, so it seems like EP are grouping up around this dragon. I mean, if IG can see that the item's been completed, Corki is in vision down in the bottom lane. That might signal to IG as well that, hang on a second, they're going to look to go for this next dragon, so we do want to contest that. But EP seem to have found the moment in the game that they were looking for. Teleports up on both top laners still as well. Kao's actually sniffing around for vision here, but again, EP just going to back off. Kane continuing to farm here in the bottom lane, and Kao's found a pink ward. Clears that out as well.
They're really starting to get that vision supremacy here. They have the pinks down where they want them. They're so far well defended. Usually, as you comment on the Trinity Force power spike being a go button, oh, we might see a fight.
Chaos bounce a frenzy. Drizzle. I mean, there's a flash out from Jono as Azir coming in, but flashes burnt there will get them out of the way.
Usually you want to complement that power spike with the rest of your team, communicating to them and gaining that vision advantage yourself, just because you set yourself up for the easy dragon with the massive 80 carry power spike. Losing vision around the dragon and now losing flash on your jungler as well. It's going to be difficult for EP to pick up this dragon.
Yeah, and again, just going to return to the lanes. It seems like Drizzle, for again, what was a very creative dragon in the first 3 minutes of the game, hasn't even looked to really pressure these lanes either. He popped down to the bottom lane briefly with Amazing J. Maybe that's the synergy they're going for here. But Energy Pacemaker have played a very quiet 70 minutes of this game, given how many tools they have right now, especially as Amazing J also found Pokemon, but no one really going to die in the top lane.
Sure, it's going to be some love taps around here, but remember, just look at those items. Pokemon's scaling up. He's already got that Rod of Ages probably a minute or so ago. Around that 26-minute mark, he is going to be massive if he can complement that with some armor and magic resist.
Yeah, and it's probably going to match in with Kid getting his big items as well. He's actually just got an Avarice Blade and 2 components of his Infinity Edge done, so maybe looking to get quite greedy with his build. And why wouldn't you? Invictus Gaming feel basically no pressure at all in this game.
It's just such a weird scenario from an IG point if you can be greedy when the enemy team has been so creative. Usually it's when these curveballs come in that you have to play reactive and say, all right, I need my power spikes now because I have no idea what this EP team's going to do with an early dragon. Instead, they've been afforded the chance to go for selfish items, Rod of Ages, Avarice Blade, scale up to the late game, which they already had an inherent champion select advantage in. That's kind of the... It feels like EP had a great plan for the first 3 minutes, but they haven't converted that into a 17-minute game win.
Yeah, but actually IG getting a look to start their first Dragon of the game as well. Energy Pacemaker have all backed, actually, and this is a perfect timing for Invictus Gaming.
Yep, they recognize that they're backed. Even though there's this ward down here, there's no one's contested at all. And now that neutral advantage has been equalized. You look at the gold value here, they're just 1,400 gold down, basically in laning in First Blood. And EP, they're on the back foot after spending so many resources on getting an early game advantage.
Everyone from IG just powering up. Even a rookie on this Azir, who's very happy in his farm lane. He's farming up a Storm. He's still 20 CS ahead of Raphael Xerath here. It's amazing. Banshee's Veil actually completed for him very early on.
I mean, the Banshee's Veil will stop one person from CCing him and preventing that engage, but it's still going to be Cacao ultimate, that impassable terrain that will be the big bane in Sion's existence.
Kane down the bottom as well. Farming here with Kid, who's actually ahead. Good rocket there as well. We're level 11 now for both those carries. This is Amazing Jane Drizzle in the top lane, zoning Pokemon off this tower, and they'll pick it up with Jana rotating in just to make sure.
Nice rotation here. Obviously, no dragon to sacrifice as a trade there. Just getting a free objective always feels good, but Cacao, he's smelling around mid lane for something.
Yeah, he wants something. He's really been visiting this lane quite often. They got the first blood. It's actually the only kill in this game. Things have been very quiet, and again, that seems to favor IG just on this draft. Cacao, though, he's going to continue to get vision in the bottom side here, put more wards down with his Sightstone Jarvan, and that's all IG really need to do. If EP do not act, IG do not have a reason to go in as well.
I mean, IG have had complete vision of the blue side, of the EP red side jungle for, what, 10 minutes of this game at least? And it's just afforded Tristana free farm. I mean, Tristana's got her Infinity Edge now, well on the way to the Static Shiv here. I mean, that power trough is becoming an afterthought. It has not been exploited whatsoever.
Yeah, even Rookie, it seems like, with his build, just getting a bit greedy. Finished off a Stinger before any major need to see large rod items. So just so much afforded here to IG by EP. And they're going to steal away the red buff as well.
Now they're even taking these objectives down, although Focus coming in.
He wants it. Kane going to go through and actually doing damage onto Cacao. Cataclysm comes in, and there's a teleport. Uses Kane a little too far forward. Got to be careful. Cacao jukes the bullets, though, and Azir takes out Corki. Amazing J now going to come through. Drizzle actually looking for Kitties, follows him over the wall, but the tidal wave's going to come in over. Rookie now flashes over the back. Drizzle kicks him forward. Little low there as Pokemon's going to get that next kill onto Lee Sin, and now Kid just going in on Tristana. Rookie gets that next kill, gets the reset for Kid's Triss. Raphael walking forward, Pokemon tanking all the damage, and IG win out through 3-0, sorry.
The smooth moves from Cacao stopped it being an early kill trade then, and then the teleports came in. And it's one of those cases where Sion, especially in the jungle, he can't channel that ultimate. It's very hard to control in those small skirmishes. And they got so much more purchase out of Pokemon coming in with the Rod of Ages and the Merc Treads right there. Able to do so much disruption. 3 kills is the advantage, and suddenly 4-0 and 2,000 gold is the advantage for Invictus Gaming.
Even Kid with that quick Infinity Edge was able to just get resets after reset after reset after reset and just plow through the team fight with those crits. He's not even that powered up yet. Static Shift coming up very soon for that Tristana, but that was a reasonably ideal situation for EP with Kane having good items and them positioning around their own jungle, and IG just waltzed through them.
I always look at team comps and I wonder, why did the team pick this, and what are their points of victory? And it's one of those things where if you could go into game and say, all right, I start off with a level 18 Tristana, level 18 Azir, a big tank wall, let's do this, then you're going to win most games. That's just the reality of those power picks. It's all about exploiting them. And speaking of exploitation, Kid, he's thinking about something fancy.
Yeah, Kid has just come here as well. Kane's like, I don't really want to go near that bush anymore. Staying well and truly on the left side of that lane. Jana roaming off towards the mid. Getting some wards down there. Drizzle and Raphael find a pink ward, take that out for themselves. And EP now looking to get a bit more aggressive. Don't find the blue buff that they were looking for. But seems like EP might be trying to do some grouping now as well.
You can see the intentions of a team by their vision line. The more aggressive vision line, you see Cacao flag and dragging in, just trying to keep people away from the turret. The vision line is always going to tell you what a team's intentions are. And it's only now at 22 minutes that we start to see wards across the river coming out from EP. So an early advantage, playing passively against Tristana and Maokai, now turning on the aggression at 22 minutes. Some very mixed shot calling coming in, and it's worth noting, of course, Captain 57, usually the barometer of their early game, not playing in this one.
No, and Drizzle has just played very passive in the early stages of this game, as we do see that Zhonya's was also completed by Rookie's Azir, so he's got a big power up there as well. And just kind of scanning through the inventories, I noticed a fun fact, there is 1 pair of boots 2 on IG and a 0 boots on Kid's Tristana.
That's very interesting. He hasn't been pressured. He never needed to pick up boots. He never had to worry about having a very specific value of gold because he's been free to shop whenever he wanted. I'm sure if we could tab over to gold here, we'd see a very nice bevy of gold coming out on Tristana here. Just very, very happy, farming about 1,700 gold she's sitting on. Could go back and pick up, boots too. Finish that static shiv, work towards probably a bloodthirster here as there's not too much armor coming out apart from on Scion. It's just really relaxed time for IG. What a wonderful way to start your series. Picking those late game champions and just racking up those CS values.
EP just never forcing the issue here. We do have a next dragon coming out though, as IG a group just 3 members here in the mid. Rookie gonna now start pushing down this tower. One apiece actually in towers. Looks like the mid tower was aggressed on earlier by EP. And they've taken the top tower for themselves. The bottom tower being taken up by Kid. Moving in though, Dragon going to be up, free up a little bit more space in this mid lane. Easy mid tower for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, no Azir turrets so far to throw off the turret score right here. And the gold, it's just going to grow for IG. It's probably going to back very soon with a lovely 2,000 plus gold. And Maokai, we talked about that Rod of Ages stacking up. We're only about 2 minutes away from it reaching the 10-minute 10 stack bonus, and that's when he's going to be a real tanky beast in the front line.
Yeah, Rabadon's finished up for Raphael as well, so good power spike there for the Xerath as he finishes his first 2 major items. Bridgewater Cutlass also coming out for Kane, so Corky doing nicely. Finished his Sork Shoes there as well, but IG just taking this so casually, and look at the poke damage there onto Drizzle.
I mean, Azir can do so much damage with so much range, but of course Xerath can too, and it's a much more selfish build coming out from Raphael. But the question is, if ever we see Cacao or Pokemon getting on top of him, he has no answer to the gap close. And the Zhonya's slightly less damage coming out from Rookie, but just so much more safe.
Yeah, and it's this Pokemon's big Maokai that's leading the charge. He's very comfortable in this champion, by the way. Has played it multiple times over the last weekend. As Rookie does set up a tower. I love this as well, creating a bit of extra vision so they can try and take this next dragon.
It's nice timing because, of course, the dragon's up now. It's an extra kind of thing for EP to consider, but they're still coming around the dragon. Will they contest it?
Gonna go in. Drizzle actually coming through, steals it with a Q, and now just trying to get out. Amazing J that's going in onto Cacao. Rookie will move in there as Cacao knocks up Amazing J, but a good tanking there. Tidal Wave does come through. Xerath ultimate does not get completed though, as he gets knocked up by Tidal Wave. There's the ult there from Azir coming towards Rookie. Takes that Jana, and now Kid is in the mix, taking out Amazing J there. So jumps onto Kane, takes him out. 1 kill into Azir does come through. Drizzle now though, forced to run away. Does kick Cacao back, can't quite kill him though. Kid is cleaning house in this team fight.
Reset City coming out from Kid there, and you saw how aggressively Rookie could position in that team fight, getting in there with the EQ, using his ultimate very effectively. And who's still alive on EP? It's Xerath, who just is so much less damage afforded, having to sit back, was completely zoned by the tanky front line of IG, and playing comfortably but cannot put out the damage. And Tristana's just going to keep getting stronger.
That tier 2 tower gets taken out as well. Cacao going to return home and spend some of his money. Kid and Pokemon will steal away the blue buff there as well. And it's just everything is going well. You kind of said it, Papa. 2 comments being picked here. IG going for rather late game picks here with the Maokai Azir Trist trio. And they could not have asked for a better start to a game.
And the item picks are just going to complement here. Aegis is completed on Jarvan right here. Already a Spectre's Cow Maokai. Maokai's going to be ignoring most of the magic damage we're going to see coming out of Raphael until that Void Staff is finished. So still another big item before he can really even tickle this Maokai over there. And the team, whenever Tristana can feel free to rocket jump in and get that damage off, it's going to look difficult for EP.
Yep, Kitty's going to find a few friends here. Raphael does come in. Good poke actually coming out as Cacao will clear out the ward there. Raptor Sense helping. A little bit Pinkwood in that bush also.
I mean, Xerath has that massive damage potential. He's gone for the selfish build. His poke and his ultimate are hurting, but every team fight he has to be staying so far safe. He can only really use max range Qs and his ultimate to do damage. Once he goes for any of his other spells, he's going to get instantly deleted by Cacao and Pokemon.
Yeah, last whisper being completed now for Kid as well. And he picked up boots too after his eye in Shiv. So much power under this Triss. This is exactly where you want to be. And 27 minutes is a very fast clip for these items.
I mean, it is. And that's just a result of having that average played early, not being pressured. 238 CS. He's 40 CS behind Corky. But it doesn't matter.
And that's impressive as well. We saw that Kane was doing very well in the bottom lane, out CSing Kid in the early stages. And Kid has been impressive with his CS numbers most of all to me. Blade of the Ruined King's done for Kane now as well. But IG just have so much pressure on Rookie as well. The star of his team right now, you have to think. And a massive CS lead. There's a 50, 60 plus there.
And the thing about this Corki pick is that, I mean, Corki, he has all the items ready to go when it comes to sieging down a turret and pushing, but if he's just sitting back, taking poke and trying to clear waves, it totally negates the power of the Corki pick here. Corki's just another AD carry. He doesn't have a point of power to really push EP through the rest of this game. He's nice, but he's almost an auxiliary carry here.
Yeah, Pokemon takes out a turret for his team as well. Just pushing in the top lane, going to get them another turret here. I believe that's their 4th of this game. And again, IG just getting vision in this bottom side of the jungle, moving through as a team, now leaving to a 1-4 split push with Pokemon in towards the top lane, and there's just nothing they have to be afraid of. Kid Tristana's level 14 already with 3 damage items, and Rookie's even gone for a second Need to See Large Rod. He
can afford to be greedy pastry time as he's got that Zhonya's. He's able to use his flash aggressively, his ultimate, his EQ, his positioning, can be super aggressive here. Of course, if he eats poke, he's going to find it hard to engage or to influence a team fight. But they can just back away, and so much pressure coming out from Pokemon. That Rod of Ages is complete. The Spirit Visage is in there. This is a super, super tanky Maokai. We've seen Maokais operate on very low resources, actually get DPS down and exploded in team fights earlier in the LPL. That's not going to be the case here.
No, Pokemon on the massive front lane that his team needs here to really put this late game mid and bottom lane AD carry to work. And look at this, the big range here, China Shield, not much help, and this turret's going to get melted away by Invictus Gaming. That's 5-2 now, and I think one of those was a Sun turret as well.
And the only true engage EP has is this Scion. The Scion ultimate is wonderful in a lane ganking sense, but he's been he's had to go top and clear waves. The other engage, there's a very fancy Lee Sin engage is always possible, but very hard for them to engage against a team that can hyperscale. Just means if the hyperscaling team wants to fight, they will. If they won't, they'll just keep getting the gold in and buy those items.
And it's pretty scary to give the late game team in the position of power to actually engage fights and choose their battles here, because normally you want to be putting pressure upon pressure, kind of really playing into that power trough that you talked about earlier. But Energy Pacemaker, they had a great, as you said, great 3-5 minutes of the game and just never acted on that next dragon.
It's the importance of saying that EP at 2.5 minutes had free reign over deciding what happened next in the game. IG were completely on the back foot. They were not expecting the early dragons to come out there. And you noticed it in their play. They just said, okay, they farmed, they put down those aggressive wards, and those wards are what really helped them there. When you're behind and can put down aggressive wards and stave off any snowball as a hyperscaling team, it's just such a massive advantage that's not reflected in the overall gold.
And Invictus Gaming still have a massive gold lead as well. 8,000 gold or so ahead for them, and counting as well. They're going to actually find Drizzle here. He's going to get poked out. Look at the damage there that Azir does. Tornado comes through, poke back and forth, but IG are looking to really put the hurt on now.
A Rookie playing very aggressively here. He knows that his poke is hitting massive. That Void stuff can't be too far away. Happy to sit on the Stinger, of course. It's not so much of an advantage coming out when you complete that Nationals too. So just sitting on the Stinger works very well with his kit, and they're just going to start securing this second dragon.
Yeah, dragon up very soon. 5 seconds there on that one. IG going to be primed to take it. They've taken the Scuttle Crab as well. And again, Energy Pacemaker nowhere to be found as IG start their next dragon.
Worth noting, this is not the third dragon for Invictus Gaming, which was given the massive 5% movement speed buff. It's only the second dragon because it was a heroic steal from Drizzle. That, if it was the old dragon, you'd say got them back into the game, but we're just staving off the inevitable here, it kind of feels like.
I mean, it's good to have dragons. A lot of teams last weekend could not take a dragon off of Invictus Gaming in their immaculate objective control, but they're still in trouble here. Tristana is so big in this game, even moving in towards defensive items now as well. Not to mention that Azir here, the other carry for Invictus Gaming, also looking for that late game, has gotten a mountain of CS and 3.5 damage items. It's Energy Pacemaker might have had the tools earlier on, but right now they're at the mercy of Invictus Gaming's team comp.
Yeah, seeing the gold here, very close to the Banshee Veil as Kid. In most situations, I'd expect Kid to go full damage on most champions here, just to pick up more damage. He hasn't really been under threat and in team fights. They haven't been able to get on top of him. But just having that really early defensive item, it's almost like a different type of snowball there. It's a snowball defensive item because he knows, looking down, he does enough damage to take out anyone on this EP side. He doesn't need to rush that Bloodthirster. He'll get it later.
Yep, and it's just an embarrassment of riches almost for Invictus Gaming. Baron maybe going to be looked at as well as Pokemon and Amazing J. A bit of a tussle in the top lane here. This Scion's fairly tanky. You got good items here with the Sunfire Cape, Banshee's Veil, and almost a complete Aranduans, but with all the damage that IG's team comp does, it just might not matter. Spotting a green ward now in the Baron as well. They'll clear that up. Pokemon going to go back, does have his teleport, and Invictus Gaming now looking to start up their first Baron of the game.
Yeah, this rework Scion, I mean, he's excellent for engage. He's very safe, and you can blind pick him, and he does very capably in most lanes. But in a team fight here, realistically, he's going to watch his team die while he dies himself slowly.
And a gorgeous line of pink wards as well. It's amazing. Jay finds a few friends. Kakao will ult him up. Kitty's looking for the bubble and does find it. And now Scion forced to run away. The tidal wave comes in. Doesn't quite get Drizzle or Shu. Pokemon those over the top. Will get in with the snare. And amazing Jay going to go down. Passive, sorry. Will get popped. But they'll kite that out. And IG with a free pick might go for Baron.
And once that front line falls down, you notice EP runs away as fast as possible. They're poking around to try and assert some dominance. But without that Scion, kind of the king of their front line, I mean, their frontliner is only a Lee Sin, who's gone basically for one health item with the Sightstone here.
Kakao does get clipped. Actually has to be careful. Forced to flash, and the ebb and flow Mikhails as well will keep him alive. So maybe they can't start that objective, but Invictus Gaming happy to take this game slowly.
And Scion does still have teleport available, so can come very quickly when it comes to grouping there. You saw, of course, Scion's one weakness, that, of course, that Jarvan ultimate was able to lock him down, force the flash. Won't have that available for a team fight. And Tristana just keeps farming.
Yeah, and as I was going to say before, we had Amazing J caught up there. A gorgeous line of pink wards from Invictus Gaming, getting so much vision around that Baron Pokemon now, even towards the bottom half of the map, and a 10,000 gold lead has been finished here for IG.
I mean, it'll be surprising, even though they're a double Sightstone team with the Lee Sin here, for EP to get another ward ahead of the river right now. You have to think it's all on lockdown for Invictus Gaming as they start to set up this Baron.
Yeah, Rookie you saw there as well, just clearing out a pink ward. Azir, I think one of the cute, underrated things is he's just so good at clearing wards.
He's wonderful at clearing wards from range. We see Amazing J's going in very aggressively here.
Just, yeah, fighting Kid here. Kiddies has to be in trouble maybe as well. Rookie actually picks up the kill into Drizzle, so a split fight there is well in favor of IG, and Rookie's walking up saying, maybe you guys don't want to be here. Kane gets massively chunked by Azir as well. And another 5v4 now for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, off screen there, of course, assassinating Lee Sin was Rookie there. Batting his stats a bit more, feeling comfortable. Obviously, we didn't see quite how that fight completely developed, but the result is no smite pressure out for EP. Here comes the Baron.
Yep, and there's Xerath ulti there as well. Going to spot them out. Maybe a bit of poke here, but Invictus Gaming with a lot of Baron damage as the scrying orb does hit in as well. So EP going to go in, they're going to try and fight it. Amazing J going deep as Zim picks up the Baron though. And now Tidalwave's going to come in zone everyone outside. Shu knocks them back into the pit, but Amazing J is still tanking way too much damage. Now Kid going to shred through Jana and gets that kill as well. Kakao slowed down there by Raphael, who's forced to flash. Kid is in the front lines though, going in there. Look at the crits now coming through. Kane goes down, Raphael goes down as well. And that's 4 kills for 1 there.
The perfect ace comes out there, although one member falling down IG. Worth noting that it was without smite, although Drizzle, he's in trouble.
Great hold again there, and Kid is coming through. But Rookie going to take it for himself. Kakao gets kicked back there, but Drizzle does actually get the kill. But Azir takes him out. It's a tier 2 turret going down as well for IG, and we might just have game.
You have to say Drizzle's been right there picking up something. He picked up the Dragon with a fancy Lee Sin Q earlier. Picks up another parting kill as he falls down. IG are just so aggressive. Kakao did not have smite up for that Baron pastry time. That was Rookie DPSing it down. He's very happy to use that chilling smite and then just say, yep, let's rush down Baron, it's fine.
Gonna be thrilled with the changes then, I guess, once we move on to this patch and he gets a couple of charges. You know what? I think he's just gonna keep smiting champions though.
It's just an amazing thing to see. Just such decisive calling, even with, you know, the kind of crapshoot that you have when you don't have smite available right there. That was a very real risk. I mean, Baron did not get free DPS down from 500. It hit about 100 health on our screens. It could have gone to anyone, even the full tank Scion.
Yeah, but Invictus Gaming have secured that for themselves. Dragon back in 35 seconds or so as well. Invictus Gaming going to set up for yet another objective, be their 3rd Dragon of the game, and just again, so much power in their hands. Kid's even finished up his Bloodthirster now as well, and the Void Staff is onto Rookie.
And the real reason why I dwell on the smite battle right there is just because right after that, I mean, IG aced, and you look down the items right here. That's what you're going to expect with the comp that IG have picked up here. They're so strong. You know, they're now, what, 15k gold ahead. They can do whatever they want in this game. The fight wasn't super exciting. It was just the fact that he's willing to go for those really aggressive plays, those really aggressive smites. It's why people love Kakao. He wears his heart on his sleeve.
And incredible gold leads we just saw as well. IG solo lane is 3,000 to 4,000 gold ahead as Drizzle just gets chunked out by Rookie's Azir. Amazing J is trying to fight through here, but the Baron creep's going to prove quite annoying. Pokemon going to come through as well. Tristana casually solos the Dragon for the 3rd there of the game by IG. And Energy Pacemaker probably not allowed to leave their base now.
Nope. And Tristana coming in. She even has the Alacrity enchantment on the boots just to have a bit more mobility in fights to pick up those resets. I mean, EP, I don't think even the inner turret, the inhibitor turret, can protect them here.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Triss range plus the Azir poke as well. Kid is level 16 is the Cacao going straight in there. Pokemon dives in with a tidal wave coming through as well. Amazing Day gets knocked away there, denied by Azira, and Raphael going to go down there to Maokai. Kid takes out the towers. Amazing Day is in trouble, but look at that damage by Rookie. So much coming through. Now Kane in trouble, gets poked up there as well. There's the full ace there for Invictus game win. We are done, Papa Smithy.
It's free resets for Kid, 9-0-6 on that Tristana. When you give Tristana a free laning phase and let her show up at team fights with 2-3 damage items, you lose the game.
And an unbelievable display there by Invictus Gaming once again. But honestly, Papa Smithy, I almost feel like that was less about IG playing and more about EP just not playing.
Just to play so decisive in the early game, to take such a big risk. Absolutely. I mean, Cacao on the minimap, he wasn't far away. They just couldn't even expect anything like that. We haven't seen that on this patch. To take such a big risk and then play passively, mixed shot calling coming out from EP.
Yeah, and for me, it's an even bigger extension of that where there's a very clear plan at level 1. We're going to cheese this dragon and take it. It almost felt like that was the only part of the plan they wrote. You know, they had take dragon level 1 here and profit on the other side, and they kind of forgot to fill in the middle bit.
And the middle bit was Tristana, Maokai, racking up gold, racking up scaling items, showing up at a team fight with 3-4 damage or tank items respectively, and winning the game.
Yeah, we do have a replay, I believe, as well of that last game, so we'll jump into that right now as well.
Okay, so we're at a dragon fight right here. IG are in the ascendancy. We'll roll the clip now. They've engaged this dragon here. They have the complete vision advantage. Look, they have the pink wards down. EP are kind of going for a hopeful. It's a really nice snipe by Drizzle to pick up that objective. And then Sion, he goes straight in. But look at all the DPS, single target DPS coming down on Amazing J here. Cacao gets very low on the front line. But Pokemon's doing so much work zoning right here. Kid is able to go in so aggressively. He's free hitting right now, and Raphael is completely zoned from the fight. This Xerath is their one real boon. He's very, very strong, full damage. More damage than Rookie's already passed away right here. But Kid, he keeps going in, he gets the resets, and that was the side of Tristana just kind of dominating the game.
Yeah, I mean, the big carries there for IG, both Rookie and Kid just going massive with huge scores in that game. A lot of farm, very comfortable lanes for all of them, and it's bad enough when Tristana gets ahead. Azir, I think, is just one of the better big late-game mid laners as well.
He does. He does so much damage, especially when he's not impeded. He was able to go in so aggressively with his kit right there, throw out his ult CC, even using Flash, because he had that Zhonya's early. He was able to have that flexibility of being as kind of an initiator for IG. And we actually saw that in previous games. Even on Fizz, happy to throw in that fish, go in, and Zhonya's. And that's been the flavor of his play, and it worked very well here.
Well, we are going to cut